everybody, it's Squid. Welcome back to the channel. How is everybody doing today? And I don't know how this happened, but my camera got screwy, so hold on a second. There we go. Woo! There. How's everybody doing today? It is Friday. Happy Friday. Oh, it's been a glorious day. It's been a busy day. We got a lot done today. I didn't stream this morning because we had family time today. We had family nap time today, this afternoon. Oh my goodness. Mr. Squid had a headache, and the little fell asleep on the couch, and I went to put her in bed, and I'm like, you know what? That pillow looks really comfortable. Laid down next to her and fell asleep for an hour. So how is everybody doing? Oh my goodness. Flash fan, good to see you as always. Please like, sub, and share. This is an awesome community. I love everybody here. We are on our way to 4K subs. We kind of like are doing this. Like we gain a couple and then we go to, and then we gain a couple and then we go. So I can't quite get to that 4K hump. Hoping to do it within the next few weeks. We will see if we get there. Oh, 3 awesome dogs. How are you? Yes, hit that like button, please, and share this. This is probably one of the most, I don't know, this to me is an important stream. So if you're gonna share any of my streams, this would probably be the one to do. The Nikita Casap. Nikita Casap. He is the kid from my home county, the county where I was born, not exactly raised, but I graduated from high school. He is accused of unaliving his parents. Well, one investigator started looking into why he might have unalived his parents, allegedly. They found all this stuff, and that he was involved in all of this, like, plot to overthrow the government and assassinate leaders of the free world and all of this stuff that's not so great. Well, since he was arrested, so many other groups have now been brought to light, things that a lot of people had no idea that were out there. And a couple of people have been talking to me about certain things, but one person in particular has sent me a bunch of links and things to look into, and it's sending me down a rabbit hole. Yes, Flash fan. Okay, Flash fan outed himself. Yeah, seems like I've been finding all sorts of cult stuff lately. I just obtained the Manson trial. Oh my God. Oh, Flash fan. Oh, Flash fan. And Christine, thanks for being a member for 7 months. Oh my goodness. Hey, Jeff and Don. Donald Roberts, how are you? And Malin, how are you? You can live stream. I don't see why you couldn't live stream on your channel. You found this group completely by accident watching a law and crime video about Casap. Well, this is sent me down a rabbit hole. This has sent me down a large rabbit hole. I had never heard of this group. Oh, she wants to stream snipe. Whatever. Stream snipe away. I just read about this evil cult here in Sweden. Oh, yeah, it's amazing. But we need to bring light to these people, because just like true arsists, arpists, true misogynist, those words are thrown around. Yahtzee and that kind of stuff are thrown around way too often, in my opinion. However, there are people in this world who are like this. And I believe that those people need a giant spotlight on them, need to be exposed, and let their bullshit and bullshittery shine through. And everybody needs to see how stupid these things are, but how easily that children can be wrapped up in this, because children are easily influenced. Their brains are not fully developed. They only know what we teach them. kids are not inherently any one way. Um, kids are what they are shaped to be by the people around them. So when all of this, as a parent now being so worried about all of this crap going on in the world and having a child, um, it's it's yeah, it's this yeah. Oh, Xbox killer jury recommended death sentence on resentencing hearing. Ooh, yeah, this is a big old rabbit hole. Most man said I didn't know much about him, but wow, was this guy different? Yeah, and hey, Rickles, how are you? Welcome to the beginning of the stream. And I was gonna stream a little earlier today, but then I like the Karen Reed trial was going on, and I know that's a whole bunch of people are into that, and I'm like, and not many people know about this. And this is the stream that I feel like people need to be aware of. So I've got a couple articles, and then we have a yeah, the evil you put out in the world comes back to you. Hey, Lexi. What do I say? I think I got this from Charlotte Dobre, so don't quote me or don't give it. It's not an original quote from me. Lady Karma always collects her debts, and I'm petty enough to watch it happen. All right, so we are going to get into this. And this is what I love doing on my channel, is exposing the shitty people for who they are. Like, yeah, this is in the media in the USA, but I have a thing. There is in one of the oh my God. Bella. Oh my God. Thank you for sending me stuff from the Greater Humane Society of Savannah. Mr. Squid and I have not talked about getting a dog. Oh yeah. Like, oh, that is awesome. If you haven't checked out 3 Awesome Dogs, check out his channel. I'm going to feature a dog available in shelters all around the United States each day. That is awesome. Yeah, yeah, Pamela, I do too. I am a petty potato, and we love our petty potato queen. God, if I ever got the chance to talk to Charlotte Dobre, oh my God, talk about fangirling. She is good. Hey, I am so good to see you. I've been thinking about you. I haven't seen you in forever. Yeah, this is honestly the first time I've really heard about it either, but it's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole, and it's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. Yeah, it's tempting, but I have to talk to the other half, and that the half that has that brings in the money, because this one doesn't do it. This one doesn't do it. I don't do it. All right, let's get into this. This is from the New York Post. And honestly, of all mainstream media, the New York Post seems to be the most straightforward with some of their stuff. So, the Neo-Yahtzee 764 cult is targeting kids as young as 9. Here are the warning signs your child is a victim, according to the FBI. All kids should have a pet. Yeah, I know. I'm just, it's not something we've talked about. So, a twisted neo-Nazi sextortion ring that targets kids as young as 9 and blackmails them into making sick photos and videos is spreading to every quarter of the United States. And the FBI has a tip for parents on how to spot if their children are being groomed. That first sentence, I need to send a link to somebody really quick. I need to send a link to somebody really quick. I think that somebody would be super interested in this. Doop, doop, doop. Oh. You think you know who? Yeah. Was there 763 cults before them? I don't know. And quite frankly, I'm not sure I really want to know. This is a trigger warning. I do need to make a trigger warning video because this is this is going to be a little difficult for certain people. The Bureau has hundreds of open cases against the group known as 764, a cult-like network with ties to neo-Nazis and Satanism, whose members methodically target and exploit minors after contacting them on gaming chat rooms, social media, and phone apps. And coming to the stream is the person who loves calling out child predators, the one who likes to talk a lot.
Oh, I'm very excited.
Yeah, this is a trigger warning, but I figured that you, being the person that I know that is very interested in calling out people who target children.
Oh, yeah. So
this would be your area of expertise.
It is, shockingly. So send me the link to this real quick.
This article?
Yeah. I want to do a little bit of a skim just so I'm able to get a quick grab.
I will do that.
Today's a good day, everybody. Today is a good day.
It's a good day to talk about cults. Let's expose
and it's okay. Neo-Nazi 764 targeting kids. Blackmails them. Oh, I remember covering people like this. These are those degenerates that I'm like, oh, I got your home address. I'm gonna fuck your mom now.
Oh yes, but we have an article from the
New York Post.
We have a press. Well, we also have a press release from the Department of Justice, along with a complaint
764
filed by the Department of Justice.
Why is it that, for some reason, I don't know why, with ties to neo-Nazis and Satanism, those are two antithetical things.
None of it makes sense. That's the thing about cults. None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. And that's why they have to target children who don't know any better.
Why does he have a fucking unibrow? He looks like he loves kids.
All right, let me get back into it. 764 is the largest network with 250 active cases, at least one in every single FBI field office, ABC News reported. But there are others as well. Ugh. A photo of a nude Barbie with 764 on its forehead taken by a teen victim of the sextortion network. And this is from Vernon Police, and we'll get to an article about that particular victim. So there's some propaganda. Oh, this looks like a real winner, doesn't
he? He looks like a pedophile. Holy shit. He looks like he'll rape a kid.
Spawn Trooper, you have your things that you are great at. This would just make you very angry, and this is just not the stream for you to collaborate on, buddy.
Oh boy, wait, this guy.
No, you're my dude though.
He can't even grow a beard right, yet he wants to groom kids? Bro, come on.
Yeah, Bradley Cadenhead. Doesn't that sound like a winner? Who went by Felix and Brad 764 online. Created 764 in 2020. This is the founder.
My name is Bradley Cadenhead. I will fuck all.
This is the founder of our cult here.
This motherfucker. Let's see. I want to read the FBI public service announcement.
Oh, don't get ahead of us.
Jesus.
Don't get ahead of us.
No, it's literally linked right there.
Yeah, I know, and I'm gonna mute you. See, to the people who watch the stream and say I have RBF or I look annoyed when I get interrupted, I just do what I do to people who annoy me, and I just go mute and turn off the camera. That's all. That's what I do. These networks use threats, blackmail, and manipulation to coerce or extort victims into producing, sharing, or live streaming acts of self-harm, animal cruelty, sexually explicit acts, and or self-deletion. The FBI said Tuesday in a PSA. Members then circulate the disgusting photos and videos amongst themselves and threaten to post them publicly to keep their victims under control. This is a trigger warning, but I'm like, I get heated looking at reading this stuff. Members then circulate the disgusting photos and videos amongst themselves. Some warning signs could be associated with regular teenage angst, while others are more disturbing. Here's what the FBI is warning parents to watch out for. Kids engaging in self-harm or expressing self-deletion thoughts, suddenly becoming more withdrawn and moody, sudden changes in eating, sleeping, and dressing habits, pets being harmed or dying under mysterious circumstances, kids mutilating themselves by carving words or symbols into their skin, writing in blood or anything that looks like blood. I mean, some of these could be teenage angst.
Not really. Just saying, at least from my experience, especially with the online child abuse angle, a lot of this, while it could be left to teenage angst, a majority of it, especially with, let's say, suddenly becoming more withdrawn and moody. If there's a known history of issues at school, teen angst. Or if it's something completely out of the blue, let's say we have just teen squid in the universe, and she's like happy-go-lucky, like, oh, I totally love everybody. I'm totally not thinking about how to stab you. This is all alleged and a joke. But immediately she turns withdrawn and moody and more focused on her phone because they don't add that there. Because especially with these online groups, because I know how it is, you would be focusing on your phone a lot more. So they should have put that there, like the hyper focus on one's mobile device.
Yeah. It's just that I would really like to discuss with a psychologist or a psychiatrist how to tell the difference between teenage angst, and this one right here is if that happens under any circumstances, that is something disturbing under any circumstances. That is not normal.
Yeah,
so normal teenagers don't do that.
Yeah, especially with that one would be easy to discern because let's say this is happening and beforehand the pet is avoiding your kid. That's a direct indicator because animals, they're not good at lying. They will tell you, if they're afraid of someone, they will avoid them.
Yeah, it's like animals and babies. If they don't like you, trust animals, the instincts of animals and babies. If they don't go near you, there's a reason.
I used to take care of a friend's baby, and she was dating this guy, and that baby cried whenever I would hand the baby off to the guy. Turns out the guy was very abusive to my friend, and for legal reasons I cannot disclose my response.
I don't blame you. But even something as simple as the little
Yeah.
My former boss, the former gym owner, who we had a massive falling out, and it's one of the people who I don't bother to know that he exists. Like I could run into him in
Yeah.
town, and I'm like, I don't bother to remember that he exists because he's not worth the time. However, my daughter did not dislike him, but she wouldn't run up to him like she does to other people. The new gym that I go to, the owner, she will run right up to her, give her hugs. The owner will pick her up and toss her in the air, loves this new owner. Absolutely. And it's I never noticed that how standoffish she was, because she wasn't super standoffish, but I never noticed the difference
Yeah.
until I saw the stark difference. And these two people know each other and don't get along. So it's even a toddler can be like, no, I'm done. I'm done.
Oh yeah, kids are usually very good at reading people, whether people like to admit it or not. But with stuff like this, oh god, so it reminds me of someone I used to work for by the name of Mama Max. He failed in covering and I shit you not, he was trying to expose a pedophile werewolf sex trafficking cult. This was a legitimate thing with real alleged victims. He fucked it up because he made all these claims and handled it so fucking poorly. It destroyed his career.
This right here. Kids and
Yeah,
dogs trust their instincts.
exactly. Is that okay? That is that person. I'm also releasing my major video today. So, well, tomorrow
Oh, fun
actually.
time.
Yeah. It's part 1.
All right, I'm going to get back into this article because we have
Yeah.
so much more. The 764 cult is an outgrowth of an older, larger organization known as the Order of Nine Angels, which is ties to Neo-Nazism and Satanism. That is the group that Nikita Casap, the teenager, the 17-year-old who is alleged accused of unaliving his parents in Waukesha, Wisconsin, which is the county I was born in, and the county I graduated from high school in. So that's, if that tells you anything about where I grew up. It's also where the
Y'all
Slender
breed
Man stabbings
weird
happened.
people there.
It's also where the Slender Man stabbings happened. You remember those?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's the same county as those. It's the same county as Daryl Brooks. So this came from the same group that Nikita Casap is involved with. So this is where it's I'm all for exposing, because the more we know about them, the less power they have, because they work in the shadows. And sometimes moving in the shadows is a good thing, but this is not a good version of moving in the shadows. Just like there's a good petty and there's an illegal petty. I am the funny petty, not the illegal petty. There's a difference.
I'm just a little guy.
The
I'm
FBI
a
has described them as nihilistic, violent extremists seeking to destroy civilized society. Yet their actual ideology seems to be all over the place. And that's the thing.
they're bitches. They're pussies.
That's true too. These are the people that hide behind keyboards,
Like
but can't
I'm
actually
not
go out and do
surprised
anything.
though. Like I'm not surprised mainly because a lot of the time you wouldn't be shocked that this is happening online, given the fact that a majority of the time online it's very hard to prove a lot of these crimes, at least get them prosecuted, because especially online. Like for example, there are two videos on my second channel, and there's false rape allegations going on about another YouTuber by the name of Saberspark. He's about 2 million subs, animation, video essays, all that. And these allegations pop up out of nowhere, and it drains resources of police to investigate these because there's no evidence, no cohesive story. And then when you apply it to stuff like this, it's really hard to prosecute.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that when people make false allegations, it not only takes away from costs a lot of money, resources, impacts, but it takes away from people actually believing the people who are real victims. That's why when people are overuse the word Yahtzee and ARPist and all the ist words that are currently the hot things to call people when you get mad at them, it takes away from the actual victims of those instances. And I can't think of the word, but it
devalues the
that's it. I was gonna
claims.
say denatures, and I was like, that's not it. It devalues the
Yeah.
impact of what those people like. Flash fan, I'm gonna use you as an example. When people throw around the word racist to people who are not racist, it takes away from the instances that Flash fan has actually had to deal with in his life.
Yeah.
And it's like, it makes his impact. So when he says, oh, I had dealt with this and dealt with this, people tend to not listen as much because it's like crying wolf. You know what I mean? When people say it over and over again, it loses its value. And it's like, Yes, disclaimer. The thoughts and opinions expressed in the following broadcast by the host and guests are their own personal views and should
Well,
not be
have
taken
these
as
people
endorsements of
been
any-
convicted in a court of law?
These people?
Yeah.
Not yet. But we do have
So let's see.
I know.
Yeah.
But
Here's
Flash
the
fan, I
thing.
know. It's just one of those situations where when people lie or say, like when two people have a disagreement about the cost of something in a grocery store, random argument that has nothing to do with the color of their skin, but one person calls the other person a racist because they just so happen to be different colors. That devalues when someone actually is picking on someone or targeting them because of the color of their skin.
Maybe I'm just
sometimes
very nihilistic, but it's like, okay, you called me racist. What does that have to do with your mom riding on my dick? Like, maybe I have a much different point of view on it. In chat, I just broke Squid again.
YouTube, to my YouTube overlords,
You'll be
he
fine.
is not my channel. I am my channel. All right. Some threat actors may be engaging in criminal activity solely for smexy time gratification, social status, or a sense of belonging, or for a mix of other reasons that may not be ideologically motivated. The agency said.
That is true. That happens a lot, especially when it.
The widespread targeting of kids has become a huge focus for cops on online activity. Rebecca Weiner, what a name, NYPD Deputy Commissioner of Intelligence and Counterterrorism, told the Post. She said the number of active cases will only rise as arrests and the seizures of computers and phones provide officers with more leads on the activities of these demented predators. This is the same dude. He became a,
Oh, so he's a prison pocket pussy.
Hey, Sticky Widget.
Yeah, may this guy suffer in prison. I genuinely don't give a shit, because here's one thing I've genuinely noticed. When the FBI arrests someone, they don't do it without like knowledge that they're going to get a damn fine and clear conviction. Like, everyone wants to say that, oh, there's low chances of a conviction with X, Y, and Z whenever the FBI gets involved. Not really, no. When the FBI gets involved in
Roy.
like crimes of this nature.
Really? All right. Last year, police in Vernon, Connecticut arrested a 17-year-old girl for allegedly calling in bomb threats and swatting pranks against schools and places of worship, NBC Connecticut reported. Investigators discovered photos of her posing in her birthday suit, mutilating herself, and a shot of a nude Barbie doll with a 764 written on its face. Authorities arrested two suspected 764 members last month. Prasan Nepal Leonidas Veragianis, aka War 21, and Prasan Nepal, aka Trippy 20.
Why is it they have the corniest fucking names, dude? What the fuck?
This is why people have aliases online. It's because they have the stupidest names known to man. Authorities arrested the pair are accused of targeting children as young as 13 years old online, intimidating them into making explicit videos. This content includes cut signs and blood signs through which young girls would cut symbols into their bodies. This is just, I just can't, like, I can't. It's like, yeah, swatting is not a prank. But if you're being blackmailed, what do?
Exactly.
I know what I would do as a 39-year-old woman. I'd be like calling the cops, but like
when it's a little kid, you don't know.
Yeah, as a 17-year-old girl, I don't know what I would. I don't know what I would have done at 17. I thank God that like all we had when I was a kid was like IRC and ASL. You know, if you know, you know. If you don't, Flash fan, bless
Though
Flash
I do gotta head out. I hope you all have a great day. Bye guys.
Thanks for hanging out for a couple minutes.
No problem.
Flash fan, bless your little heart today. I love you like a little brother, bro. He was like, didn't you have MySpace when you were a kid? Yeah, MySpace didn't exist until I was a senior in high school. I graduated in 2004. Yeah. Remember the person Casap was talking to, their name was Awoken. Yeah. I was beside myself when FBI did a search warrant at the apartment in 2021 of Professor, caught him in an act, but didn't arrest until 20. Oh, yeah, that's, yeah. I don't know. This is just, yeah. So getting to the, hey, baby. Hi. Can you go by daddy? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm 39. I'll be 40 in the end of summer. All right. So this article, this is that Vernon girl. Police warn of online exploitation network of 764 that victimized Vernon girl. This was May 8th, 2025. So this is today? Yesterday. And it was updated yesterday. Police are warning parents of an online child exploitation network that goes by the name 764. Predators befriend children online using online messaging, gaming platforms. There's the kicker. Gaming platforms. Yes. If you have littles in the room, this is not the stream for them. Angel, can you go by daddy? No. Thank you. Yeah, this is the gaming platforms. So if your kids game, there's because that's the online network that nobody really thinks about. Nobody really thinks about gaming because it's, oh, you're just playing a game. No, but you're talking to people. And those people are talking to you. And it's the people who are talking to you that become the problem. according to investigators, and coerced them into violent acts. Back in late 2023 and early 2024, police said the international group victimized a teenage girl in Vernon, which resulted in multiple swatting calls to local schools. Around November 2023, we began getting inundated. Some words just throw me for a loop. With bomb threats to our local schools. Those soon escalated to a combination of bomb threats and swatting threats. They went to places of worship in town, neighboring towns, and through the course of the investigation, we were eventually able to determine a link to the town of Vernon, said Detective Thomas Van Tassel of the Vernon Police Department. We had assumed that they were just due to the mere quantity of threats that they were receiving, specifically that there was some type of Vernon connection. The connection was the teenage girl who lived in town, who police said was part of 764, which prosecutors describe as a nihilistic violent extremist network. Hey, Tammy. I don't know yet. I haven't heard. I just Taz, I heard about that. Look into the case of a son killed while in the middle of a felony and father killed a retired police officer in retaliation. Yeah, just picked a random person who was associated with police. Yeah, who had nothing to do with the son's incident just because he was a police officer. It's so bad. The individuals making the threats identified themselves as a Rockville High School student, Van Tassel added. We were able to have conversations with that individual and learn a little bit more about her activities, social media platforms, and gaming platforms, such as Roblox. There you go. And discourse. And that's when we started to learn that this was related to this online ideology, 764, if you will. Oh. I don't know any it just says Roblox. This is what we know so far, and this is just coming out within the last couple of weeks. This is crazy. This is insane. And this is why, like, it's one thing to be a overbearing helicopter parent, but like this is why parental controls and knowing what your kids are doing online is so important. Yeah, our society is falling apart, and this has nothing to do with race. It has to do with what's right and wrong. Yeah, this is made. Well, it says it's an international thing, so it's not just. Yeah, probably. And we will be watching the Casap, the hearing tomorrow during our updates. We have a couple of updates and a couple of cases and a couple of articles that I found on some cases that I hadn't seen before that provide some information on parts of cases that I hadn't seen, even though they're from last year. Divide and conquer. Yeah. And any politician that tells you to hate somebody because of the way they voted or like who they choose to marry or like who they, what they choose to do for work, if they choose to be a stay-at-home mom, if they choose to work, if they choose not to have kids, if they want to be a stay-at-home mom. If any politician tells you to judge your fellow man for that, that is not the person you should be voting for. Just saying. Just my personal opinion. This is my opinion. I don't speak for anybody else, and nobody speaks for me, obviously. Yeah, because Casap was talking to someone from Russia and Ukraine. Yeah, it's just weird. Through a warrant, police obtained photos from the girl's cell phone showing a naked Barbie doll with 764 written on its head and more disturbing images. So this group, it's all about developing content for themselves for notoriety purposes online. So they encourage self-mutilation. They encourage the sharing of pornographic material, fan signing, self-deletion, animal cruelty. Ooh. Like, this just all makes me angry. Bye, Malin. Hope you get a good night's sleep. And the more content that one can convince someone to do, the higher their status within the group. That's even freaking sadder. And I think it's important to note that when we say the group, it's not necessarily specific 764 or a and I know this, the name of this, XVN. There are hundreds of subsets of these groups, hundreds of these actors, and it's more the ideology behind it than what everyone is copying all around the area, all around the world. It's just, it just makes me sick. It makes me angry. It makes me sick. Van Tassel said it's important for parents to monitor their child's online activity and be aware of the warning signs like sudden changes in behavior and appearance, changes in eating or sleeping habits, dropping out of activities, and becoming more isolated and withdrawn. Yeah, scared. Yeah, it makes me scared too. Like, yep. This is a brand new and emerging threat. It's more important for parents to really be in the know of what their children are doing, what applications they're using, what gaming platforms. He said they will target anyone. They will target young children. They will target teenagers. They're looking for vulnerable individuals, a lot younger girls with prior victimizations. That's even worse. That's even worse. I hate to say it, Flash fan, but kids are easy targets. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but like kids are naturally trusting. They naturally trust the people around them. They don't lie. They believe what the people that tell them things have their best interest in mind. I just it. So when, hey, Gabby. Hey, Squid, just stopping by to say hi and hit the like button. Hope everyone has a great night. I hope you have a great night as well. And Tammy, I hope you feel better. I know what it feels like to feel like you've been run over by a Mack truck and it sucks. But kids are easy targets because they're vulnerable. They don't know any better. They're innocent. And anybody who takes away a child's innocence to me is like the most evil person on the planet and deserves Lord Chippy. Where is Mo and Lord Chippy? We need Mo. They'll develop a trust and a bond with their victims, and that is how they get a lot of their materials, and they'll essentially brainwash them and terrorize them. Police said this threat is much larger than people realize. This is massive. It's absolutely worldwide. Connections to our Vernon case went overseas to Eastern Europe and the UK. Some of those aspects of the investigation are still continuing, but this is happening in every community in the world. There's no community that's immune from it, Van Tassel said. Last month, U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C. announced they've arrested 2 leaders of the group, 21-year-old Leo Vergian. I'm not going to say his name because that's what he wants. He wants notoriety. So this is how I feel about his notoriety. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. U.S. citizen living in Greece and 20-year-old, that person known as Trippy of North Carolina, were arrested and charged with operating the international child exploitation enterprise. While police said the threat to Vernon is over, the larger threat to this group isn't. I've heard other professionals describe this as the biggest threat towards Western civilization at this point in time. You mean it's not white supremacy? Sorry. Van Tassel said, I think that this is there's no real organization. It's massive. It's an ideology as opposed to a group carrying out these activities. It's going to be very difficult to rein in. Yeah, especially kids from one-parent homes. Even some kids of divorced parents should be fine as long as their parents co-parent well. It's the people who, like, the dads aren't involved or the moms aren't involved or the parents fight all the time. Like, if you can't co-parent effectively, and like, because then the kid feels like they can get away with stuff at one person's house because, oh, my mom will never find out because mom and dad don't talk. This is why co-parenting is huge, huge. We live in a society where you ask anyone how they are and the answer is always fine, but in reality, a lot are not. We need to learn to communicate honestly and seek assistance. We also live in a society where when you ask how someone is, you really don't want to know the answer. You're saying it to be polite. Let's be honest. 95% of people who say that when they ask someone how they're doing, they're only doing it to be polite and make conversation. They're not doing it because they actually give a shit. So let's, because the minute someone says, well, not so good, you never get a follow-up question. Oh, what's going on? Let me know if you need anything, or you get the let me know if you need anything. But when you call someone and say you need something, they're always too busy for you. Like it's like it. So let's be honest. Let's not beat around the bush here. So there is that. And then we have this one. Yeah, the craziest part is in 2023, the FBI visited the Casap family, but they left. Yeah. I suppose these scumbags hide behind being normal and don't advertise their cult, name, or club. Nope, and that's why my thumbnail, as simple as it is kind of just shedding light on 764, because we need to shed light on these people who hide behind we need to shed light on these people, because the more that we know who they are or we know what they're doing, the less power they have, because they work in the shadows. They try to manipulate people who have families who don't know what's going on. Oh, yes, I believe you are correct. I'm just speaking from, like you say, how are you to someone who's walking down the street, but you keep walking. Like you keep walking. Oh, Tammy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I sorry, I'm a little speechless right now. Oh, Tammy. I hope you are going to be okay. Like, was your fall, well, you don't have to tell me this, but if you want to tell me, you can email me, and you don't want to tell everybody else, accidental or balance problem, medical condition, because there's a difference. You could trip over, somebody could cause you to fall. You could fall because your balance stinks, or you could fall because you got like dizzy because of a medical condition and fell. So that's always my first thing when someone falls, is like, well, what caused you to fall? Because that depends on what we do and how we go about making sure that you don't fall again. All right. This is from the Department of Justice, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia. Press release. Leaders of 764 arrested and charged for operating global child exploitation enterprise. Arrest marks significant takedown within violent online network. These two people, we're not going to repeat their names ever again. The first one was arrested yesterday in Greece. Nepal was arrested on April 22nd in North Carolina and had a court appearance. Court hearings in Washington, D.C. are pending for both defendants. And I am thinking about following this case because Flash fan, I just think they brought these to DC because the one person was arrested overseas. So I think that's why they're in DC. So because one was in North Carolina and the other one was residing in Greece. So, oh yeah, DC. There's no cameras in DC courts because DC is not a state. So anything in DC is automatically federal. With DC not being a state, there's the caveat. Anything on DC is in PACER. DC is not a state, and therefore anything DC is not is automatically federal. And because it's federal, there's no cameras. So there is no cameras, but there are documents. And there's documents, and there's ways to get around, that there's ways to follow it without cameras. The charges were announced by U.S. Attorney Edward Martin Jr., U.S. Attorney General Pamela Bondi, FBI Assistant Director in Charge Stephen Jensen of the Washington Field Office, and FBI Assistant Director in Charge Christopher Rea of the New York Field Offices. According to the affidavit in the District of Columbia, 764 is a network of nihilistic, violent extremists who engage in criminal conduct in the U.S. and abroad, seeking to destroy civilized society through the corruption and exploitation of vulnerable populations, which often includes minors. The 764 network's accelerationist goals include social unrest and the downfall of the current world order, including the U.S. government. As alleged, the defendants engaged in a coordinated criminal enterprise and led a core subgroup within 764, known as 764 Inferno, operated through encrypted messaging applications. As alleged, they directed, participated in, and otherwise caused the production and distribution of child SA material, and the defendants facilitated the grooming, manipulation, and extortion of minors. Those two asshats allegedly ordered their victims to commit acts of self-harm and engaged in psychological torment and extreme violence against minors. The affidavit alleges that the group targeted vulnerable children online, coercing them into producing degrading and explicit content under the threat and manipulation. The content includes cut signs and blood signs through which the young girls would cut symbols into their bodies. The defendants and their co-conspirators around the world use CSAM and other gore and violent material to create digital lore books in which NVEs use digital currency within the 764 network, traded and archived in encrypted vaults, and used as the means to recruit new members or maintain status within the network. The affidavit also details how the defendants instructed other members in grooming tactics and set content production expectations for new recruits. In multiple instances, defendants threatened and caused their victims to engage in self-mutilation online and in-person smexy time acts, harm to animals, and exploitation of siblings. And others, acts of violence, threats of violence, self-deletion, and this last one, Nikita Casap. Also, according to the complaint affidavit, the defendants exploited the at least 8 minor victims across multiple jurisdictions, with some content traced back to children as young as 13 years old. The network activities spanned from late 2020 through early 2025, with core leadership roles attributed to both defendants throughout the period. These defendants are accused of orchestrating one of the most heinous online child exploitation enterprises we have ever encountered, a network built on terror, abuse, and the deliberate targeting of children, said Attorney General Bondi, We will find those who exploit and abuse children, prosecute them, and dismantle every part of their operation. Unfortunately, I don't believe that, because I believe she will try. I actually believe, somebody get Mo on the phone. Like, somebody get Mo on the phone. Lord Chippy, I need permission from her to take the keys to Lord Chippy, because we've got more than a few people who are yeah. Somebody let Mo know. Casap kind of indirectly brought all this to light, which is it's unfortunate, but it's like, maybe if you can look at anything positive from him doing what he allegedly did, and if you can look at anything, if the family can get any closure from the loss of those two individuals, it is that these people are being exposed. And I am all for exposing these people. Like, this is a hill I'm willing to die on, exposing these nutbags, because this is evil on a level I never wanted to admit that is a reality, but here we are. Like, a pig farm is more effective than Lord Chippy. I have ideas that would get me demonetized from YouTube for what I would do to some of these people. But that's why I am not in charge of anything like that, because the charges against these subjects represent a resolve to dismantle violent networks that seek to destroy civilized society, said Assistant Director in Charge Jensen of the FBI Washington Field Office. Our work is not done until justice is restored for all impacted victims. Nepal, a leader of 764, allegedly instructed other members of the network to use explicit material to induce and extort victims into producing child exploitive content. I say that with gritted teeth. I have covered I have covered him. He is from my home county. TLDR, he is accused of unaliving his parents, his mother, and his stepfather. He was found on the run. He was found in Nebraska or Kansas, something like that. And he was linked to a group called Order of the Nine Angels. He was online talking to people about unaliving the sitting president of the United States, and basically trying to overthrow the U.S. government and cause chaos. And Order of the Nine Angels is an offshoot of that. So, yes, this right here. Yes, so I do have a few videos on Nikita Casap. I originally had a playlist for Nikita, but I might add it to a greater playlist of I'm not sure what I'm going to title it, where YouTube's not going to hate me or try to dismantle my channel. But this is the problem. This is why, like, as much as I like to believe that Pam Bondi, what she says, she talks a good game, I don't think that it's possible. As much as, like, this is where it's like, I would prefer not to speak in absolutes. This is why, because Squid would never be an FBI agent, because Squid would be accused of a whole bunch of things that are against the Geneva Convention. Just saying. we're gonna stop there before I get in trouble. Oh, why are you apologizing? Why are you apologizing? Wait, why are you apologizing? Oh yeah, you can fire up Lord Chippy. I'm just going back. You can fire up. Sorry if I miss your comments. Sometimes it's a little hard to catch them when I'm reading. So I catch here and there, and I miss certain things. So, the FBI. Let's see. Said Assistant Director Rhea, in charge of the FBI New York field office, manipulating the most vulnerable members of society, our children, to produce smexio harmful material to further their depraved goals is unconscionable. The FBI is determined to do whatever is necessary to stop the heinous actions of 764 members and hold them accountable in the justice system. These arrests expose one of the most disturbing online child exploitation networks we've ever encountered, said NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch, a group that glorified violence, weaponized abuse, and targeted children to advance a deeply depraved ideology. Through the Joint Terrorism Task Force, the NYPD is proud to have partnered with federal and international authorities to dismantle this horrific operation and protect the most vulnerable among us. If convicted, the defendants face a maximum penalty of life in prison. That should be a minimum. But the thing is like with prisons these days, this thing can still be run. They have access to the internet. This thing could still be run out of prisons. This case is being investigated by FBI's Washington field office and New York field office with assistance from the FBI Charlotte field office, FBI Athens legal attaché office, and the Hellenic National Police. It is being prosecuted by the Assistant U.S. Attorneys Alexander Hughes, Karen Ditzler, Shinsky, oh God, I'm screwing those names up, Jack Corba for the District of Columbia, and trial attorneys Justin Schur and James Donnelly of the National Security Division's Counterterrorism Section. Paralegal specialist Marissa Mondelli, Christina Hamill, and Jorge Casillas provide assistance. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of North Carolina provided invaluable assistance. The case was brought as part of Project Safe Childhood, a nationwide initiative to combat the epidemic of child smexy time exploitation and abuse, launched in May of 2006 by the DOJ, led by U.S. attorneys' offices and CEOs. Project Safe Childhood marshals federal, state, and local resources to better locate, apprehend, and prosecute individuals who exploit children via the internet, as well as to identify and rescue victims. For more information, there's this, and I will post that link in the description of the video. Yeah, it does say charges in a criminal complaint are merely allegations, and every defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. But here we go. This is the actual complaint. Filed 4/15/2025. So this is maybe. And the thing is, it's like, I know everybody wants the Epstein stuff released, but knowing that, assuming that the last administration did not go through any of it and just let it all sit there, knowing that they have to go through it all to see what all of it is, and they have to redact it to protect the people who are in those documents, videos, all of that. Yeah. Knowing all of that, I can understand why it's taking a while, because you know how long it takes me to go through a document and redact it? And I know they have thousands of people that could be doing this, but they also have thousands of other things to do. this is a small part of a much larger. Remember, our government is way too big, so fines for minor crimes don't really seem to have any effect. I'm still about stocks, pillories, public provided rotten vegetables. Yeah, we need something that people. I'm all for. There's a reason why parents humiliate kids, because it works. Humiliation works. People don't like to be humiliated. So when people are humiliated, yeah, transnational crime takes a lot of time. I had one Albanian national group that took thousands of man hours, over 100 search warrants, and close to 3 years. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst. Oh, ouch, 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 ouch. Well, get some rest. I hope you have strong pain meds and that you will be getting some rehab and prayers. All right. Love this. Under seal. Not anymore. Not anymore. Affidavit in support of a criminal complaint and arrest warrant. And this is written by Andrew Rust. Introduction and affidavit. Affiant background. I'm a special agent with the FBI. I've been so employed since December of 22. Currently assigned with Washington Field Office, investigating matters involving counterterrorism and nihilistic violent extremism, NVE. As a special agent with the FBI, I am authorized to investigate violations of the law and of the U.S. and to execute warrants issued under the authority of the U.S. I have gained experience through training with the FBI and in everyday work related to conducting these type of investigations. During my career as a special agent, I have conducted physical and wire surveillance, participated in the execution of search warrants and arrest warrants for various crimes, reviewed and analyzed numerous recorded conversations and other documentation for criminal activity, interviewed confidential human sources, subjects, and victims, and monitored wiretapped conversations of individuals engaged in various crimes. I have participated in investigations involving computer-related offenses and have executed numerous search warrants, including those involving searches and seizures of computers, digital media, software, and electronically stored information. As a part of my duties as a special agent, I investigate federal criminal offenses, including the smexy exploitation of children and the distribution of child porn in violation of 18 U.S. Code 2251, 2252, and 52A. I respectfully submit that there is probable to believe that the defendants have committed violations of Title 18 U.S. Code, specifically violations of 18 U.S. Code 2252 AG, child exploitation enterprise, hereafter subject offense. I have been personally involved in the investigation of this matter. I am familiar with the information contained in this affidavit based on my participation in the investigation, my review of documents and other evidence, my conversations with other law enforcement officers, and my training and experience. Because this affidavit is being submitted for the limited purpose of establishing probable cause to arrest the defendants, I have not included the details of every aspect of the investigation. Where actions, conversations, and statements of others are related herein, they are related in substance and in part, except where otherwise indicated. I'm just concerned with them releasing this stuff. It could give people the wrong idea. It's one of those things of like, I don't think this gives people the wrong idea. It's like, I believe them releasing the affidavit is like, I'm all for releasing arrest affidavits, because that, to me, that is the government having to prove and be transparent about how they got the judge to approve and what they said to the judge to approve your arrest warrant. Because not only do they have to write it, but a judge has to approve it. So it's one of those things of I love the transparency. Do I think everything should be? And this is released 2 weeks after. So remember, this was 15th. So this is what, 3 weeks later. So it wasn't released immediately, which I can appreciate. Don't release it immediately. Release it after the next step. It's like, do the next step and then release that information. Do the next step and then release that information. So like, you know, they're probably like 3 or 4 steps ahead of what information is being released now. So, but I do appreciate the transparency. The problem is that people don't realize that when people say transparency, they don't realize everything that the government is actually being transparent about or is available to them. So it's one of those things of like, yes, the government is being more transparent, but you actually have to look for it. Like they're not going to just put it on a website and say, here you go. You actually have to know what you're looking for. That's why going to the justice.org or justice.gov and looking at press releases and digging into what hyperlinks are in press releases is important. But this is a hard subject, and and it's, once again, it's not going to get the 5,000, 10,000 views like the drama channel or like the drama, but this is important. This is corruption, not from the government, but from people. Probable cause, the child exploitation enterprise. Defendants Trippy and War, the defendants herein, did knowingly engage in child exploitation enterprise. Were among the, and I'm not going to say their names, were among the leaders of the NVE Group 764, the purpose of which was, among other things, to exploit vulnerable children online, including by facilitating and directing the production, distribution, and receipt of child porn, as defined in Title 18 U.S. Code Section 2256-8. In doing so, the defendants violated Chapter 110 of Title 18 of the U.S. Code as a part of a series of felony violations constituting 3 or more separate incidents and involving more than one minor victim, which offenses are described below, and committed those offenses in concert with 3 or more other persons. 764 operated throughout the world, including DC. Oof. The media uses transparency to entice us. If they say something needs seen, then we all get up in arms about it, even if it's nothing. Redirect attention. That is true. I do like transparency though, but I think the media tells us to request transparency about the wrong things. Like their focus is here when it should be like here. 764 is a network. The footnote is describing what 764 is, which we've already said twice. A network of NVEs who engage in criminal conduct within the U.S. and abroad. 764's network's accelerationist goals include social unrest and the downfall of the current world order, including the U.S. government. Members of 764 work in concert with one another towards a common purpose of destroying civilized society through the corruption and exploitation of vulnerable populations, including minors. It seems like mostly minors to me, in my opinion. Certain 764 members, including the defendants and several co-conspirators, coordinated their conduct through various internet-based groups and channels, including a private group on an encrypted message application, Platform A, known as 764 Inferno. Footnote 2. Access to 764 Inferno was reserved for the inner core of 764 members who had been invited by leaders of 764, including the 2 defendants and co-conspirator 1, as a 764 member who was known by the moniker Fail. Means and methods of the 764 child exploitation enterprise. Among the means and methods which the defendants and other co-conspirators conducted the affairs of 764 child exploitation enterprise. And I'm just going to say the enterprise because repeating those words, like I hate the word trigger warning and triggering, but saying these 2 words right here over and over again, it's just starting to get to me. Were the following: Members of 764, both individually and as a group, methodically targeted vulnerable populations, including minor girls with mental health challenges. And this is why treating mental health conditions and not, sidebar, my opinion only. This is why we don't need to glorify mental health conditions. We don't need to ostracize people with mental health issues, but we also don't need to hold them up as like a, we don't need to put them on a pedestal. We just need to treat them like you would treat a broken arm. You treat a broken arm. You treat a busted leg. You treat a back injury. You need to treat a mental health condition, and you need to keep treating a mental health condition. You don't need to glorify it. You don't need to ostracize it. You don't need to make it a thing. But this is why you need to do it, because people that have mental health issues are vulnerable. It's nothing personal against them. It is just a fact. It is just a fact. It is not meant to disparage anybody. It is just a fact. I know I have depression, and when I am in my depressed state, I am more vulnerable. When people say that they want to be my friend or they want to help me out, I am more likely to believe someone than I am when I'm my normal self and I can see through people's BS. That is why treating mental health and making mental health a focus. If I was a politician, mental health would be my running on mental health care, and putting mental health as a primary focus would be like my number one thing. Mental health. Let's treat mental health, because this is this. And attempted to socially engineer them, gain their trust, and then groom them to share private information and intimate visual depictions of themselves engaged in explicit conduct. Footnote 2, references throughout this affidavit to 764 refer to the larger 764 group, which includes leaders and members associated with the various internet-based groups and channels. References throughout this affidavit to 764 Inferno refer only to the 764 Inferno channel hosted on an encrypted messaging app. It's become so admirable that everyone wants to be bipolar, have PTSD. It's one of those things where we shouldn't ostracize. It's not meant to be like, we shouldn't make those people like out to be, oh, there's something wrong with you, like you're a bad person because you have depression, or you're a bad person because you have PTSD. No. But like, you have PTSD, you need help. Just like we would say, oh, you can't walk because you broke your ankle, you need help. You hit your head, you have a concussion, you need treatment. Same thing. Except the mental health, you can't see. It's just Armed with this private information and intimate images of their victims, 764 members would then use this material to coerce victims into providing more extreme and degrading content, such as images of the victims cutting the names of 764 members into their bodies. And what this does is this permanently scars them, because you know that does not go away. Like, it heals, but now you have a scar of someone's name, so that person is permanently stuck with you. Setting themselves on fire, abusing their pets or siblings, and even self-deletion. The 764 members would then compile the material that they obtained from their victims into edited lore books that they would then share with 764 channels. In their leadership roles, defendants, those two, recruited prospective 764 members based on the quality and notoriety of the content they produced and posted online. Content including lore books containing titled corn served as valuable currency within the 764 criminal enterprise. The content generated and shared by 764 members through the extortion and smexy time exploitation of vulnerable minor victims not only resulted in the individual 764 members earning invitations to join 764 Inferno and 764's inner core, and maintaining and increasing their position in the group, but the content also served the ends of the 764 enterprise itself by gaining more attention and notoriety for the group and attracting more prospective recruits to join, thereby furthering the goals of 764 by spreading the group's NBE ideology. I haven't looked yet. Yeah, it's and all those meds have side effects, and it's like, yes. After 764 members created and shared their content, the material was often stored in online vaults managed by designated 764 members who agreed to preserve the material for other members if they were feted, i.e. arrested or otherwise disrupted by law enforcement. The fact that they had plans for what happens when a member was arrested is like they had contingency plans. Members of 764 have also engaged in acts of real-world violence, such as destroying property, spray painting 764 monikers, and in iconography on public buildings, physical abuse of animals, and assaults on people, including stabbings and attempted murder. The group has shifted names over time and spawned known offshoot groups. Although the group moves between social media channels and changes its name, the core members, methods, and goals of the group remain consistent and appear under the overarching threat of 764. Defendant's background. Nepal has been with 764 since the group's inception in or around late 2020 or early 2021. And the timing, with something that we really can't talk about that happened in 2020 and 2021, where people were socially isolated and a lot of things moved to the internet that otherwise wouldn't be on the internet, might have something to do with this. If I were to speculate, y'all can tell me I'm wrong. Feel free. And was present in the group with its founder, Individual 1, footnote 3, after Individual 1 was arrested on or about August 25th, 2021, footnote 4. Nepal emerged as a leader of 764 and has remained in this position to this day. In his capacity as a member and leader of 764, he has used many online monikers, including Leather Jacket, Rebirth, King Cramp. Where is Spawn? King Krampus. But he was most widely known in 764 Inferno as Trippy. Footnote 3, artifacts found in Individual 1's phone after his arrest, including iMessages from July 1st, 21, between himself and Nepal, which the two discussing founding 764 together. Individual 1 is currently serving an 80-year sentence for the possession with intent to promote child porn in violation of Texas Penal Code Sections 43 and 26. And just in case we need a refresher on who that moron is, that's this bro. That's this dum-dum. This is Individual 1 that the affidavit is not mentioning. I will mention it. I will be that guy. Yeah, yeah. Because remember, this is Verigiannis, and then this is a later mugshot of that Conehead. So it said a later, and I linked them because a later mugshot of Bradley Cadenhead, Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Not only did they say he was the founder in 2020, but Texas Department of Criminal Justice. So, critical thinking skills, putting two and two together. Oh. Defendant Verigiannis joined 764 on around December 20, 23 and used monikers including Mercy is Weak 2, Sinister, what was commonly known within the Inferno as War. He's a U.S. citizen. Throughout his participation in the 764 enterprise, he resided in Greece. Defendants, Nepal, and that dude were leaders of 764 and specifically were leaders of 764 Inferno. Inferno leadership, including the defendants, conspired with group members to create and distribute images of the exploitation of minors. These images depicted both the smexy time exploitation of minors as well as images depicting self-mutilation. The defendants controlled memberships in and access to the group. The defendants posted instructions to group members regarding methods they should employ to exploit vulnerable minor children. Oh my goodness. Angel. Hold on one second. Oh, more widely described, an incel. Hi, beautiful. Can you go by Daddy? Yeah. I love you. Love you. Oh, thank you. I love her, and I don't want her in the room for this. This is why I'm doing this now, because Mr. Squid is home, and she's not. She can go with him, and yeah, I can talk about this without her in the room because this is, Hey, Gareth, how are you? Yeah, this is fucking nasty. Could you imagine Manson with the internet? Oh my God. Yeah. I just can't. The defendants also interacted with group members by commenting on the exploitation material they posted. 764 relied on members recruiting other members into the group in order to generate additional content, including child exploitation content that could be distributed in the group. Oh, I kind of want to. That's one of the rabbit holes that this is sending me down on. Rabbit holes. From its inception, 764's tactics have included the production, distribution, and receipt of child porn as described above. CSAM, which is this, and I'm not saying it out loud anymore, often included lore books, which were shared widely in 764 channels and used to recruit and promote members to gain attention for the group. I'm going to give you some freaking attention, but it ain't going to be good attention. These tactics were utilized within 764 as recently as 2024, while defendants were leaders of 764 and administrators of Inferno, as described herein. Defendant Nepal himself directly engaged in the receipt and distribution of CSAM. For example, July 10th, 2019, he stated in a conversation on Snapchat, I got CP if you want to see it. Child corn, I'll send it on or about July 21st, 2019, stated further, also not saying that word. I got CP. I got, if you want to see it, footnote 5. There's just. Yeah, I originally was going to talk about another topic today, and when Flashman brought this up to me, it's like, yeah, we're going to talk about this today or this weekend when I know that her father's home and she's not going to be always in, because he's worked so many days in a row that he's home today, and she's like, daddy. I'm like, exit stage left. Yeah, I can't stand these guys either. Bye, Tammy. I hope you feel better. If you need something or need advice, need a second opinion, just email me. You got my email. You know where to find me. After early 764 leaders were arrested and convicted of criminal offenses involving the production and distribution of CP, I'm just going to call that CP from now on because, yeah. Defendant Nepal began to make statements within 764 channels purporting to discourage tactics involving the production and distribution of CSAM in order to avoid the attention of law enforcement. Oh, gee, you think? On May 27th, 24, a member of Inferno posted an image of a fully in her birthday suit girl who appeared to be a teenager with the words "Civil Evil" written on her unclothed. He responded, "Yes, but I have to blur my vision because that's a little girl." I might have to refer to the bitch book for this one. I might have to refer to the bitch book. That same day, May 27th, 24, he posted a step-by-step instructions on how to groom and extort a potential victim, stating, "Go to Reddit or Twitter, self-harm community, and speak with a girl like it's a normal friend, then seduce her with how much you love how she cuts." Yeah, I think all this is connected. None of this is a coincidence to me. On August 28th, 24, defendant Giannis posted a list of purported rules for 764 Inferno, which included the admonition no pedophilia. Despite this statement, defendants never removed links to lore books containing CSAM and did not remove 764 Inferno members who posted this material. He explained on or about September 30th, 24, "We're not anti-extortion. I'd rather have extortions continue than stop generally because it does, in a way, promote harm and teaches cringy e-girl lessons, or e-girls lessons." I mean, hey, Sir Frank, have fun, drive safe. Beginning in or around at least January 2024 and continuing in or around March 2025 in DC and elsewhere, those two attacks, in concert with co-conspirators 1 through 6, knowingly and willfully engaged in child exploitation enterprise. That is, the commission of a series of felony violations enumerated in Title 18 U.S. Code, Section 225A-G2, constituting at least 3 separate incidents involving more than one victim. In furtherance of the defendant's child exploit enterprise, the defendants and their co-conspirators engaged in a series of offenses, including attempted exploitation of a child in violation of 18 U.S. Code 2251A, coercion and enticement of a minor, and conspiracy to commit coercion and enticement of a minor in violation of 18 U.S. Code 2422B. Yeah, this is one of those things of like, sometimes, this is why I tell people that are new here, sometimes you're going to hear things on this channel that you don't like. Sometimes I don't like them either, but I feel like it's, if I don't talk about them, who will? Slug, obviously. Then that's why I sent him a link, because I know that he is very familiar with outing people who exploit minors and do things that are not good to minors. But other than that, and I know these aren't the most popular streams, but they're the most important, because we need to get this out in. Everybody needs to know that this is going on, because that's how we stop it. We don't need to know. I'm not putting this out there this is not my ideology, YouTube overlords. I'm not putting this out there in an attempt to get them more members. I'm putting this out there so that every parent, every grandparent, every child, every aunt, uncle, cousin, anybody knows that this shit exists and can be on the lookout for it. Mm-mm. 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 And can chapter 110 offenses, the felony violations committed by the defendant in concert with one another and with co-conspirators 1 through 6 are enumerated below, and that footnote is all messages are reproduced as they were found. Typographical and grammatical errors are in the original. Your affiant understands that CP refers to child porn. That's a good point. Thanks, Jeff, for giving me another mental note to write down. Co-conspirators. While those two asshats were leading 764 Inferno, they were conspired with and directed others within the Inferno to commit crimes in further of the 764 criminal enterprise. These co-conspirators included, but were not limited to, fail, slain, axe, praise, and kills. In addition to co-conspirators 1 through 5 listed above, who were members of 764 Inferno during the time that defendants led and managed the criminal enterprise, prospective 764 members Zalix, co-conspirator 6, performed an overt act of the conspiracy by storing 764 related content belonging to co-conspirator 5 on his digital device in DC. Shit. The stored content, which was located on digital devices seized from co-conspirator 6 during the execution of a search warrant on March 19th, 25, included images of what appeared to be 764 kills written in red on a wall. In addition, there was another video of co-conspirator 6's phone that depicted a minor teenage girl standing topless with her chest exposed and talking to someone on a live chat while she poured bleach on her arm and set it ablaze. The minor depicted in the video has been identified by the FBI as minor victim 1. The footnote, each co-conspirator is identified by the moniker they used within the 764 Inferno. These monikers have been attributed to 3 or more identified individuals. Defendants' control and leadership of 764. Those 2 asshats, that's what they're to be known as from now on. 2 asshats have acted as leaders of 764, including by directing and controlling the recruitment of 764 members and by performing the roles of owner and or administrator of Inferno. Those 2 asshats, along with co-conspirator 1, controlled the recruitment by exercising the power to include or exclude prospective 764 members who sought entry into the group. To be recruited to 764 or invited to the 764 Inferno, the asshats required prospective members to produce and share content, which is often included visual depictions of minors engaging in explicit conduct or self-harm. That's a really good question. It's a really good question. And this goes back to parenting. 2020 was, that was also about where we started telling, or, like Ricada used to say that he hangs maps on a wall. Or maps belong on a wall. And that's also when people started being isolated. Lots of families that were nuclear families did not handle being isolated together, or that close together for that long, and did not handle that very well, and are no longer nuclear families, which does not help this. It's just 2020 fucked up everything. 2020 is when the world went to shit and we'll never recover from it. Not like it was awesome before that, but you get my point. Ugh. On or about June 5th of 24, while the asshats were leading and managing 764, co-conspirator 5 expressed his desire to be recruited into 764. He contacted co-conspirator 2, writing, "Yo, let me get recruited back to 764. Co-conspirator 5 offered to produce blood content and claimed that he had sluts lined up that'll do anything for me." I got nothing. Defendant douchebag and co-conspirators 2, 3, and 4 discussed whether 5's content was good enough to allow him to join 764. Defendant douchebag complimented co-conspirator 5's content, noting that he already got. I'm not even reading that. I will put that right there. You can read it for yourself. Referring to the video of the purported suicide produced and shared by co-conspirator 5. Defendant douchebag added, "The ending was funny when she fell over, laughing my ass off." On or about June 25, 24, defendant dumbass asked co-conspirator 3, "Who do you want me to recruit?" 3 responded, "Browser, Aurora, and kills," referring to conspirator 5. Defendant dumbass replied, "We won't recruit them unless they do some crazy shit." Yup. This is yeah. Yeah. This is bad. And I really hope that I know that they did not well, as of this, did not actually do any of this themselves. And I think that's why people think they can get away with it. It's like, oh, well, I didn't actually do anything. They did it, or this person did it. I really, 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 really hope that there's some Gen Pop justice in Minecraft. I will have to go back and look. I have my notebook in front of me. I have to go back and look. In further communications about 5 joining 764, another 764 member posted, "It's kills good," and he wants to join. In response, 1 instructed the other member to ask 5 to make 764 content, but later responded, "Oh nah, tell him to speak with War," referring to defendant douchebag. There we go. Douchebag and dumbass. Those are my names. See figure 1 below. The other members responded, "He's cool in my opinion," and shared the video with Inferno, which shows what appeared to be a young girl with blood on her abdomen. The video then moved up her body and shows what appears the word kills in a red substance consistent with blood. And we're almost done. Well, yeah, we're just really sounding more and more like my girlfriend's daughter got involved with this. 14, ran away, was brought home, then tried to unalive herself. That's super unfortunate. And it's not only bringing to light that this happens, it's finding these kids, these girls that are vulnerable like this, and helping them and figuring out what we can do to not let them get in a situation like this, get them the therapy that they need to get through this, and figure out what we can do better. It's all about what we can do better. Because we're obviously not doing good. We're not doing good. We're obviously not doing well at this. On or about July 4th, 24, Conspirator 5 joined 764 Inferno. After joining the group, 5 posted several screenshots of his computer screen, which revealed a folder in the computer downloads with the titles that, which included images or videos depicting what appeared to be teenage girls exposing themselves. And how I'm still monetized on this stream, I don't know. But I have a feeling this is going to get demonetized. So if y'all see this, and by all means are appreciative of this work, super thanks are appreciated, or contributing to my Amazon list, because this is not going to pay my bills, and this stream is not going to stay monetized for long. I can tell you that. Some of the girls have what appears to be the names of 764 members written on their chests. In response to comments about the content he posted, 5 stated, "You don't have as much CP as me, though." The 2 defendant douchebags or asshats likewise directed others to produce content for the group. For example, on or about August 26th of 2024, members of 764 Inferno discussed bringing back extortion, that the group would have extorters editors. When 4 said, "Let me get in on that," defendant douchebag responded, "Go for it," and explained that only the best will get into Inferno, so everyone's aware. As discussed in greater detail, Infra co-conspirator 4 later shared content in 764 Inferno, which included CSAM depicting minor victim 2. Wait, was that about Minecraft? No. No. Oh. Picnic, thank you for the $20 super chat, just because I appreciate that. And thanks for the $5 super chat. Love and hugs. Thank you for covering this. This is a hard one. I got to admit, this is a really hard one. This is a hard one. On or about July 22nd, 2024, defendant dumbass removed another 764 Inferno member and stated that he would need to get content to join back in. In addition, on the same day, defendant dumbass invited co-conspirator. The only thing that's making this even bearable is calling them dumbass and douchebag. That is, so if you hear me laugh at all, it is because I am trying not to crack up. I'm laughing at their spelling errors. I'm laughing at their lack of knowledge, and I'm laughing at their, "Oh, Flash fan, you are fine. This needs to be covered. This is necessary, Flash fan." This is one of those subjects that this is why I have a channel. Yeah, that other stuff is funny to laugh at, and ridiculous and off the wall. And I'm glad certain people are being held accountable for their actions. Laura Owens. But this is the shit that needs to be out in the open, that the mainstream media might gloss over in a 1-minute spot, but will not take an hour and 49 minutes to actually give you the details of what is actually going on. It's hard, but guess what? Life is hard. It sucks. It's evil, but there are evil people in this world. And the only way to get this out there and make sure that people are held accountable and make sure that Pam Bondi sticks to what she said and eliminating all these people or finding all these people is to know that she said it in the first place. And if we would have read this, we never would have known that she actually said that. So now we know that she said it. We can hold her accountable. Yeah, known jointly as asshats. Yes, that's the only thing that's making this bearable. But besides talking to you guys, obviously. But talking to you guys is always fun. That's why I do this on live streams. I could not imagine trying to record a video of this. I would not be able to do it. I could not do it. In addition, the same day, defendant dumbass invited co-conspirator 2 to join Inferno. Defendant dumbass asked, "Are you going to beat some ass?" And then instructed 2 to use a weapon. Co-conspirator 2 responded, "I'll find some and do it." But it shows the lack of like, also the people who get wrapped up in this, like, not to say that education is important, but the people who spend time reading books and going to school and learning things and being involved in positive groups don't get involved in groups like this, or are less likely to get involved with groups like this because they don't have the time to meet people online and do this. Do I like this? Like English. I know y'all are from here. Y'all are from DC. I know y'all are from here. English. To which co-conspirator 1 responded, "Yes, on cam." Defendants douchebags, along with co-conspirators 1 and 2, created a guide that gave prospective 764 members explicit instructions on how to create content for the group. The guide was shared by defendant douchebag in a public 764 channel on Platform A on or about September 13th of 2024. See figure 2 below. I mean, these people are sick. The guide specifically instructed recruits on grooming victims into producing content for 764 and advised members to target particularly vulnerable victims, such as individuals with depression or mental illness, and referred to these targets as e-girls. See figure 3 below. The defendants also provided instructions in the guide for extortion and advised prospective 764 members to socially engineer and to groom them instead into trusting 764 members so that they could obtain information about the victim and then could be used to force her to create blood content. And that is the end of this. Here's the kicker. Only 14 pages of this document were released. The cover page and then this. This document is 27 pages long. The rest of it, I'm assuming, is not appropriate for to be released to the public, which I can totally understand and am totally okay with. Yeah, this right here. When the small things are ignored, the larger things become the small things. Shoplifting isn't bad, so we can go ahead and riot. Yeah. And thanks, Flash Fan. Squid is awesome. I know Squid is the only one that would cover this, so I'm thankful she is covering this. And it's I don't know. It's a hard one. It's definitely a deep dive. It's definitely a hard subject to cover. It's definitely not a subject to cover on days when Mr. Squid's not home and the little is going to be in the room with me. It is definitely it makes me want to like talk to psychologists and see if I can get anybody who is a psychologist. Because see, I know people, but it's whether I can convince these people to come on a platform with me. Know how to tell the difference between teenage angst and the stuff like this. How to tell if your child is not only the victim, but how to tell if your child is trying to become a member of groups like this. And yeah, yeah, hug your little ones. But also, and this is where if you see something, say something. Like if you see something, say something. Like this is just hard. I wish Flash Ran, I hope this saves lives. Come here, beautiful. Come here. He's done now. Come here. Have a hug. Can I have a hug, please? Can I have a hug? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, your mom. Oh my goodness. Oh, you want down? Okay. Can I have a kiss? You smell like peanut butter. Your mom, thank you for the $50 super chat. Just the content of the documents could be cause for demonetization. I've tried to contribute to purchasing your Amazon wish list, but it was too difficult for me. So here's my contribution. Thank you, Squid. Oh, you're fine. Certain things, it's not so much the content. It's the certain words, if they're said over and over and over and over and over again, it could trigger. That's why I try. I've never had a video yet to this day be demonetized for the topic I am discussing. However, I always try to, I'll say the CA or the smexy time, I'll say the real word once and then I'll switch it up. And then I might slip it and say it again. And then say it again, but I'll try to change up. I try to change up the words that are used so that the same words aren't used over and over and over and over and over again. But yeah, if YouTube can find things, if certain words can violate their terms of service, yeah. Put Naked, thanks for the $5 super chat. Autocorrect changed you to Spud. Henceforth, you should be known as Spud. Well, I am a petty potato. I do follow every video that Charlotte Dobre puts out, and she is the petty potato queen. So I'm okay with being a Spud. Being called a potato is not a bad thing. It's a hard subject, but if this info doesn't get out there, how do parents know what to look out for groups like this? Yeah, and that's the thing. Like there is, and I've realized, like I know, like some certain things, like I don't want to be that like new mom, you know, but like there are certain things that you think you know when you're not a parent, or you think you're gonna feel a certain way, or you think you can do this, or you think. But then when you are a parent, it's like all of a sudden it just hits different. Like things just hit different. And you start thinking about like, oh my God, what about this? Oh my God, what about this? And oh my God, what about this? And I'm seeing these things. And I'm seeing that like these are things that it's so easy for even good parents. Like you don't have to be a bad parent. Like you can be the best parent in the world and you could have done all the right things and your child still gets wrapped up in some shady shit. And it's one of those things of like, for me, it's trying to forget that these things exist in the world is what I feel like gets people into trouble. When people try to ignore the fact that evil exists and they try to paint everything as sunshine and rainbows all the time and forget that and try to paint like people that they just don't agree with as evil. Like, hey, we don't agree on, how much taxes to pay. That makes you evil. It's like, no, that doesn't make you evil. That just makes you disagree on how much taxes to pay. Like that when you call people who disagree on how much taxes they should pay, or you call people who voted for the other person evil or deplorable, or all sorts of different names, it takes away and devalues and that actual evil exists. And this is evil shit. This is evil shit. So like look at Casap. His parents, he is 17. His parents was not new at it. Also, his parents weren't wealthy, but like if you looked at the house, like he went to Waukesha West. His parents were the Waukesha West is not a very poor school. Let's put it that way. Waukesha in general is not a very poor county. So Waukesha is a pretty uppity county. There's some very ritzy schools in Waukesha. So to have that happen is like you don't have to be poor. It's not a poor or rich thing. And that's the thing. We don't know I don't know what the root cause is. And it's one of those, like, we just need to figure out what the root cause is. And maybe the more we talk about it and make it non-polarized, and that's what I want to do with this channel is like, not everything needs to be an all or white thing. Not everything's black and white. We live in this gray area. You don't need to call Flashfan and I agree on or disagree on who to vote for. That doesn't mean he's evil, and that doesn't mean I'm evil. That just means we disagree on who to vote for. Like, technically, it's the village of Waukesha. It's known as the village, like like you have the town of this, the town of that. Technically, Waukesha is a village. Thank you. I appreciate you as well. And thanks. I appreciate everybody who hung with me through this very difficult subject. And I appreciate I appreciate everybody who hung with me during this very, very difficult subject. It was triggering for everybody, I know. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow night, I will be with, actually tomorrow at like noonish, 1, I will be with Just Jay probably. And then tomorrow at like 6, I'll be with Ketchup Man, talking about Laura Owens, because that's always fun to make fun of. It is fun to make fun of the people who are just absolutely ridiculous and finally getting justice. But for every stream that I do like that, there needs to be one like this that's hard to do, and that's a very good point too. And I think a couple people and I might do some not parenting, but like talking about being parents and what, because I have friends that have kids my age. I have friends that are my age but have kids in middle school. I have friends that are my age that have kids in high school. So like I have friends that have, friends or kids in every aspect, and they're all different. Perspective. If you have 3 meals a day, you're rich to a person eating McDonald's from a dumpster. That is very true. It's all about perspective. That is about, So, all right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me on this very, very hard subject. Remember, hug your little ones. You never know. Talk to your kids. Talk to your kids. Let them know that you're there. They might not be the most talkative people. You might not be the most talkative people. But if y'all at least know that you're there for each other, it's a step to maybe preventing this. All right. I will see you guys on the next one. Have a great night. Bye.